I gesture enthusiastic open arms. It was Mohamed Salah's 34th birthday. Egypt were leading Belgium, outplaying Belgium, and they were 24 minutes away from the most historic World Cup result in their nation's history. And then Romelu Lukaku stepped off the bench. 28 seconds later, it was over. Belgium won, Egypt won. So tell me, was this a hard-earned point for the Pharaohs? Or did they just hand Belgium a lifeline they had absolutely no right to receive? Welcome to Soccer Vault. Let's break this all the way down. Context/backstory. Belgium arrived at this 2026 World Cup carrying something they've dragged around for over a decade, the ghost of the golden generation. The golden generation that never delivered a trophy. Kevin De Bruyne, 34 years old now, quite possibly playing his final World Cup. Thibaut Courtois, back between the sticks after years of injury hell. Romelu Lukaku, a man who divides opinion like almost no other striker in world football. On paper, Belgium are the favorites in Group G, the experienced, battle-hardened European outfit that simply needs to perform. Gesture, point forward emphatically. But nobody told Egypt that script. The Pharaohs are appearing at only their 4th World Cup ever, and they arrived with something Belgium doesn't have. They arrived with Mohamed Salah, 34 years old today. Yes, today, June 15th, his birthday, and still the heartbeat of this Egyptian side. Captain, talisman, and the man every Belgian defender had circled on their prep notes. Group G looked tidy on paper. It was anything but once the whistle blew at Lumen Field in Seattle. Main breakdown. First half, Egypt's masterclass. Let me take you through exactly how this one unfolded. Gesture, count on fingers. First half, Belgium had possession, around 62%. But what they did with that possession was painfully inefficient. Egypt deployed a disciplined, compact, low block. 4 defenders packed tight, midfield screening every channel. Every time De Bruyne tried to pick a pass through the lines, there was an Egyptian shirt in the way. It was suffocating. Belgium were moving the ball sideways, backwards, and into dead ends. De Bruyne was finding half spaces, sure, but he couldn't do anything with them. The Belgian attack looked slow, almost cautious. Then came the moment that sent the internet into meltdown. 20 minutes in. Salah, naturally, peels away from his marker in a way that only Salah can, dragging the Belgian backline out of shape with that deceptive, low center of gravity run. He threads a pinpoint pass to Emam Ashour on the edge of the area. Ashour controls, shifts his weight, and slots it into the bottom corner. Clinical, devastating, and celebrated like Egypt had already won the tournament. Gesture, fist pump. The image of Mohamed Salah, arms spread wide, face turned skyward, celebrating an assist on his own birthday, that is going straight into the 2026 World Cup highlight reel. Pure emotion. Lumen Field was absolutely electric. Belgium went in at halftime a goal down, and they needed answers. Main breakdown. Second half. Belgium scramble. Roberto Martinez came out in the second half and threw everything at Egypt. Belgium pushed higher, the fullbacks overlapped more aggressively, and De Bruyne was given license to roam. Gesture, shrug in disbelief. And yet, somehow, the clearest chance Belgium created in the first 66 minutes was a De Bruyne effort that went straight into the arms of Egyptian goalkeeper El Shenawi. Straight into his hands, from around 20 yards out. Kevin De Bruyne, one of the greatest midfielders of his generation, sending a tame daisy cutter into a goalkeeper's grateful embrace. That is not the De Bruyne we know. That is a player who is carrying something. Fitness, form, the weight of expectations. And it showed. Egypt, meanwhile, were not just sitting back. They probed on the counter. Salah had a half chance in the 58th minute that that Courtois read brilliantly, staying big to block. Egypt could have made it 2-0. They should have. Then Martinez made the substitution that changed everything. 66th minute, Lukaku on. Main breakdown. Lukaku. 28 seconds that decided everything. Gesture. Both hands up. Excited. 66 minutes and 28 seconds. That's how long it took from Lukaku entering the pitch to Belgium drawing level. Thomas Meunier bombs down the right flank, a run he's made hundreds of times in his career, and whips in a low, dangerous cross. Lukaku, and I want you to watch this back on the replay, Lukaku does not take a touch to control. He simply barges into the Egyptian penalty area, putting his body between Mohamed Hani and the ball. Hani, under enormous physical pressure, turns it into his own net. Own goal. 1-1. Belgium escape. 28 seconds. 1 substitution. The entire complexion of Group G changed in the time it takes to make a cup of tea. Lukaku didn't celebrate wildly. He knew what he'd done. He'd done his job. And on the touchline, Martinez pumped his fist with a relief that told the whole story. Belgium had been seconds away from a shocking Group G defeat. Controversy/hot take. Gesture. Lean forward. Serious. Here is my take, and I want you to fight me on this in the comments. Belgium were outplayed today. Not just marginally, substantially. Egypt's tactical setup was elite. Their low block was disciplined, their counterattacks were razor-sharp, and Ashour's goal was a piece of clinical finishing that any top European team would have been proud of. If Lukaku doesn't come off that bench, if Meunier doesn't find that cross, Belgium lose this football match. Gesture, waved dismissively. And can we talk about that own goal for a second? Because Lukaku's run into Hani was physical, aggressive, a shoulder-to-shoulder battle where Lukaku's size and strength basically left Hani with nowhere to go. In another era, that might have been a foul. In this World Cup, with these referees, it was play on. Egyptian fans will be furious, and honestly, you can understand why. When you've played as well as Egypt played today, and you lose a draw due to a questionable physical challenge in the penalty area, it stings. Belgium fans, breathe easy, for now. But the performance today was not good enough. What happens next? Gesture, point forward emphatically. So where does Group G stand? Both Belgium and Egypt sit on 1 point after this draw. Iran faced New Zealand later tonight. Check the latest results because by the time you see this, that table will look different. Belgium play Iran on June 21st. Egypt face New Zealand. On paper, Belgium and Egypt should both collect 3 points from those fixtures, which would likely set up a winner-takes-all Group G decider in the final round. Gesture, count on fingers. What to watch? First, does De Bruyne start against Iran? Martinez has to ask himself whether Kevin needs a rest, or whether benching his captain sends the wrong message. Second, how does Egypt recover mentally from surrendering a lead they deserve to keep? Salah is their galvanizer. Watch his body language in training videos over the next few days, because that man will be on a mission. Third, and this is the one nobody's talking about enough, if Iran beat New Zealand tonight, Group G gets very complicated for both Belgium and Egypt heading into the final match day. This group is wide open. Do not sleep on it. Outro plus CTA, gesture, both hands up, excited. Belgium won, Egypt won, a result that tells one story in the scoreline and a completely different story on the pitch. The Pharaohs were the better team. Lukaku was the difference maker. And somewhere, Mohamed Salah is celebrating his birthday with a point that feels like a loss, and a performance that tells the world Egypt are absolutely here to compete. What do you think? Did Egypt deserve to win? Drop it in the comments below, because I want to know. And if you want every World Cup 2026 breakdown as it happens, 3 times a day, every single day, then smash that subscribe button on Soccer Vault right now. We are not going anywhere. See you in the next one.